5 weeks. So I changed my home of record from New York to Puerto Rico. They can't stop you from going back to your home of record. It doesn't matter if there was a devastating hurricane over there. They couldn't stop me. So Peace Corps was like, well, we can't stop you from going home to visit. So what I did was I took 3 weeks vacation, and Red Cross said, just get to New York and we'll pay for your ticket to go to Puerto Rico, and we cover everything. They give you like a Visa credit card with $1,000 to cover all your expenses, and if you need to buy like supplies, they give you a checklist of things to buy. So I blast on Facebook, look, I'm trying to get to Puerto Rico, can someone help me out with it? And then one of my friends was like, oh, I got some miles, use them to get to New York. So I didn't pay anything. Like, someone gave me their plane miles because they wanted me to help. It was for a good cause, right? So their heart was in the right place. But I'm saying, when things are meant to be, the stars will align. Like, it was meant for me to go to Puerto Rico, and I didn't have to pay anything. So just like think about those things. Be very intentional, right? And just put it out there and try. The worst that can happen is that you fall, but then you get back up. So I went to Puerto Rico for 21 days. I worked in reunification, which is basically we would go up to like the mountains, the very like mountainous areas where there were like no cell phone reception with a satellite phone, so that people could contact their families and let them know like, hey, I'm okay, I'm alive. We would take them water, food, like diapers, formula, and I just gave a lot of hugs. Like, just people would show good face and they would look really strong, and people were not just sitting around. They were out there, cleaning up, trying to fix everything. It wasn't like this administration was painting it like Puerto Ricans were just sitting around, right, and waiting for help to come. No, they were making stuff happen. They were fixing grids and cleaning roads, and they didn't wait for the government to do any of that. So I would go to these homes, and people were, smiling. They looked really happy. But when you hugged them, they would cry because they were holding a lot inside. So just being supportive, just giving people a hug. Sometimes you don't know what to say. Just be there, and that makes all the difference. So that's my encouragement to you, is to start here in your local community, but it's the most rewarding experiences for me. Participating in the Hostos Leadership Academy. I just want to give you some recommendations real quick, which are sort of things that you can do. So number one, join the Hostos Leadership Academy. Like, don't even think about it. Go to all the events and all the workshops. I believe Thursdays and Fridays, Jason? Thursdays and Fridays, there. Go through that scholarship booklet. I believe Mrs. Littfield is coming this week to talk about scholarships. Pay attention. Travel abroad. That is a must. You need to get a passport and see another place. Even if it's Canada, Mexico, one of the islands, leave and get a different perspective, because the world does not revolve around the United States. Study abroad, leave your comfort zone. I told you, CUNY-wide opportunities. If Hostos doesn't go to the country you want to go to, one of the other CUNYs does. Get an e-permit and go. Do what? Tell the person next to you, do at least one internship. Tell them right now. Do an internship, because I know you're not here for your health, right? Like, you're trying to get a job, right? Okay, so do an internship. Some of them are paid. Sometimes there's funding, they'll pay you so you could go do it. So research that kind of stuff. Learn a new language for the love of God. Learn a new language. Public speaking. Guess what? Jason has people come in to teach public speaking. Participate in those events. He has a debate where you talk about some fancy stuff, some Greek mythology or something. Participate in those events. Learn parliamentary procedure. Do you still do that? Teach parliamentary procedure? So when I was in student government, it was a hot mess till I got there. The meetings, big old mess. What did we do? We taught parliamentary procedure. I was like, Jason, we gotta teach these people how to act. And didn't it improve our meetings? Big time. So, learn how to act, all right? And people will treat you like they should. So you're nobody to sneeze at, right? Sometimes when you go out into the world, people come at you a certain way, and you're like, no, 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 no. I'm an educated individual, and you will treat me as such. Dress the part, right? Fake it till you make it, so always try to look nice. Always look nice. Try not to be try to get to places on time. I know CPT is a thing, but work on your punctuality. Let's see what else. Remember your heritage, remember your legacy, remember where you came from. I will always remember Hostos. I will always remember City College. You know, I always rock the shirts, I always represent. I've been in many, many, many opportunities where people are from Yale, Harvard, and I'm like, no, I went to CUNY. Yes, I went to community college, and I might be the only person in this room that did that, but I deserve the same amount of respect. And I'm just as smart as you or smarter. So remember your identifiers, right? Don't necessarily, someone can't pronounce your name, well, they need to learn how to pronounce your name. So correct them, right? So if you can learn how to say, I don't know, what's a really hard name to say?
Rania.
If they can say, I don't know, Beethoven, Mozart, or Charles, yes, then they can learn how to say your name. People will come at you with microaggressions, but you know, just correct them. Like, you don't have to be disrespectful, but just say, you know, that was sort of not okay. Yeah, I'm Latino, but my name is actually Michael, not Miguel. So call me Michael because that's the name my parents gave me. So just be very, very aware that it's not okay. Microaggressions are not okay. And sometimes when you go into rooms, just be very proud. Always have your head up high. And at least for me, like, I know my family, my grandparents came to this country so that I could have a better life, so that my parents could have a better life. So I'm always aware of that. Like, when I enter a room, I know my ancestors are with me. I know that I'm not alone wherever I go. I know that my predecessors, my ancestors suffered so that I can have a better life. So guess what? I'm going to have a better life. And I'm unapologetic about it. Like, if you don't like it, too bad. If you don't like me, that's okay, because not everybody's gonna like you, right? Just be very grateful, but also just be very proud of your heritage, proud of your legacy. Yeah, and thank you for listening to me.
So I just want to capitalize on a couple things. Thank you for staying. So I'll start with this. Michael, when I first met him, could have easily said, the Global Scholars Program is not here. I scratch out Hostos, I'm not going to stay here. His brother was a graduate of the Global Scholars Program, so he was intentional about coming here for that program, and the program had been disconnected from the college and became too expensive. We could have easily said, all right, I'm not going to go here, I'm going to go somewhere else, find another place, not go to school, whatever it is. But he did. He assessed the situation, he evaluated it, and he took the steps necessary to make everything that he just showed to you possible. When I say, you know, you got a lot of money for that, I don't know if he makes the impression that maybe I want you to hear. The things that he asked for, the things that he simply asked for, by writing an email, by making a contact, by asking somebody in upper level administration, in the CUNY central office for help, are things that you guys take for granted. Like, okay, I'm not going to do it. That person's too big. That person's out of my league, or that person doesn't really care about what I'm doing. And he did all of that, constant, to the point where it was like, it was almost embarrassing for me that he was doing it, but at the end of the day, he was getting everything that he needed to be able to go to every place that he wanted to go. It's an incredible leadership skill that I don't want you to miss out on. There are opportunities out there, scholarships, everything. All you have to do is put yourself in the right place at the right time and make that connection with somebody, and you automatically open up doors for yourself that never ever would have existed for you otherwise. And if you're afraid of it, if you say, all right, no, you're too big, I'm not, it's not going to work. But if you put yourself in that situation, all of a sudden things open up. And one of the stories that you'll hear constantly from members of our group, from all of the different years that we've had in this group, is they'll tell you that that's exactly what they did. They walked in the door, they asked somebody for something, they said, I need this, can you guide me towards this, is this available? Or, can you write me a recommendation? I'm still writing letters of recommendation for Michael. I've written about 50 letters of recommendation for him over the years that I've known him.
Whoa.
And sometimes he drives me crazy because he'll send me back the recommendation. No, you got to write it this way, and I'll fix it. He did that a couple times. And he's not the only one. And that's part of my job, is that when people join my organization, I believe that I'm connected to them for the rest of their lives. So that Samantha's in Indonesia right now. We text message all the time, right? And she graduated in 2008, right? In the spring of 2008. And Ayette graduated in 2008. He's been working for Samsung in Texas. And he came up for her ceremony, swearing-in ceremony, and we drove back 5 hours from DC to New York together, and we didn't stop talking to each other. We had conversation the entire way, right? And we hadn't seen each other in a couple of years. My job is to make sure that you get to all the places that you want to go to. That's my job in terms of the academy, and that's my job with Michael too. So he's not done. I'm not done with it. And so as I said earlier, I put him in touch with Samantha a couple weeks ago so that he could talk to her about what she's doing, so that he can use that in terms of the next step for his career. Because, you guys all, right, you're in these seats right now. Michael said this is where he started, and that's the truth, right? So the window opens, you jump in, you jump through that window, and then you're in the next place, and it's bigger, right? And then the next window opens, you jump through that window, and it's bigger, right? And then the next window opens, you jump through that window, and it's bigger. It's bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm not done yet, right? I just keep thinking that these are the seeds inside of you are leading you to a place, right, in diplomacy, in leadership, in this country or in another country. I've always said that would be my favorite thing, actually. If somebody actually went back to their country of origin and took on a leadership role, get a president of another country somewhere, right, Burkina Faso or something, that would be wonderful. But I'm also working on the things that are local. But the other thing I want to talk about in terms of Michael is that he's smart about what he said about being intentional and about really focusing on your goals. So he said Peace Corps, and I'm going to work on Peace Corps, and that was a long time ago. And he got there. And it's the same thing. Figure out what it is that you want to go towards and keep working towards that. And don't get sidetracked. Don't get pushed off into a different direction. Don't let somebody tell you, okay, well, if you're not good at math, you can't do it. Because at the end of the day, right, if you're not good in Spanish, they may still send you somewhere, right, that speaks Spanish. They may get you to the elementary level of Spanish and then put you in a location because you have some other skills that are identifiable. One of the things, I have a picture up, I have a lot of pictures up on my wall. One of the pictures I have up on my wall is from, I think, a scholarship orientation. And Michael was here, and he was talking about all the money that he had gotten through scholarships, and Jabril was here. And one of the stories they tell about that is Jabril's from Nigeria. He says he's from Queens, but he's from Nigeria, and he applied for a scholarship from the Hispanic Health Education Association. He had asked me, he said, should I apply for this? I said, absolutely. And he won it. It was only about like $1,000. But the guy who he won the scholarship next to was the guy who was studying at Harvard, right? He was Hispanic, right? But he was from Nigeria. And I always say to everybody, don't let one little thing that might be, something that separates you from something stop you from applying for it. Go for it and go full steam ahead. And as Michael said when he was talking to you, the worst thing that can happen is somebody says no. But the best thing that can happen to you is that somebody puts $3,000 in your hand and lets you go, or gives you their points so you can fly to Puerto Rico. And then the other thing that Michael is he's humble. I know that he put a lot of stuff on it. But this year he actually, at the college, just in his fall semester, he was one of the first students to win what they call an alma mater award. So they celebrated alumni from all the history of Hostos. It's the 50th anniversary of Hostos last year. So they celebrated students from across the generations, and he won the Global Citizen Award. And they celebrated him. He couldn't even be here. He made it cake, and we were all there, and we applauded him. So it's a big deal, right? I mean, you never know what your impact is going to be on the society until you take the steps to actually make the impact. And I remember the days that we volunteered at the Senior Citizen Center in the park. And those are valuable to everybody that was there and valuable to Michael. And so you guys can do that as well. But I'm sure all of the experiences that he had that as he's widened it and made the window a lot bigger have been valuable as well. And I like watching him on Facebook with all the things that he's done. We send messages back and forth. I'm proud of his government. So let's give him a round of applause. And so we're going to let you leave a little early today. Tomorrow we get started nice and early again. We hope to see you. Tomorrow's day is going to be a lot more interactive, actually. I know the video was really interactive, but Bar's presenters are really interactive, including Saint. Arel Moody will be here in the afternoon, and then we're going to have public safety teach you about self-defense in the afternoon. You don't have to wear any special clothes, but be comfortable. And so we'll see you tomorrow. I hope you had a good time today, and thanks for being here.